the stories. But in Hunchback's case, that's not entirely accurate because there's been like a half dozen or so, like a lot of other versions of like plays and like early like black and white movies of the Hunchback of Notre Dame that have essentially like shifted the focus of the story so that when Disney adapts it and they pick and choose elements from those various versions of like, you know, it's not necessarily like Disney completely like, you know, like sugarcoating it because like the context of the story like has already shifted in those directions.
Hello everyone, it's your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black One Only, here with
Guy over there.
And right now he's talking about watching video essays on YouTube in order to gain a greater appreciation or a new understanding.
Not really, but it's just like I was talking about the ones that I did watch.
Mm-hmm.
So,
of like different movies and like shows or anything else you can watch. I really like Soul Brother Number 3's video where he shits on video essays. He just talks about how a lot of times you can set up a very impressive presentation but not know what you're talking about.
I don't know
kind of
who
thing.
was by, but it was, criticizing like video essays. It's true, you can pretty much make anything look interesting in that way. Like the right kind of like editing and stuff.
Dun 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 dun. I thought we were gonna do the last dun duns together.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have added some impact. Dun, 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 dun.
So like essentially the creation of the Hunchback of Notre Dame story, which isn't called that, like the French version, wasn't even about the Hunchback. It was more about the cathedral, Notre Dame itself. In that, in like the 1830s, when the guy wrote it, there was no real effort for like maintaining historical buildings like UNESCO World Heritage Sites that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So he was trying to get people, like garner attention to the kind of like dilapidated state that the Notre Dame Cathedral had. Because at the time, this is like 1830s and 40s, so like French was in the, not the French Revolution and the Napoleonic, they were like in the 1830s and 1840s revolutions. So like no one was really paying much attention to how much they're destroying all these landmarks in the revolutions. And over time, as the later versions, and even the later version, I think he had like a play version of the story called like Esmeralda or something. It changes focus because after like sort of the, because then they like renovate and like start to upkeep Notre Dame. That purpose of like keeping it or like gathering awareness, of its like state, is no longer like an issue. So the story and subsequent versions shift to like the Hunchback himself as like a main character. All that drama stuff becomes like the focus of the story.
I'm surprised it doesn't switch to now we have to continue to maintain it or else it could end up like this.
Well, it's also he also had a bunch of stuff about worrying about the death of architecture at the hands of novels, because he thought that the like before the printing press days, the way to like have, I guess like,
good to see you, Chris.
Architecture was like the main means of like promoting like culture and stuff, like churches and things, like buildings, like if you wanted to show off how cool you are as a ruler, you do like a big building project of like a statue or whatever, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's worried that those kind of things, that like the language of architecture would die at the hands of like
You could just write a book about me, kind of thing.
Yeah, or because it's in the early 1800s and like novels.
There's like a
as
big
a concept,
media
are
explosion.
just like coming into being. Which is funny because then later words because the whole point of the novel that he writes dies at the hands of movies. Like it's not just that novels or that architecture has died at the hands of novels. Novels have now died at the hands of movies. It's like already at that like derivative levels of the changing media.
Do you think movie theaters will ever die out?
I don't know.
You don't know? People have talked about the idea of television dying out to like streaming services.
Yeah, it is though. There was another show. What was the program? They were talking about I think it was on one of those PBS like British, like Downton Abbey shows. But it was saying that like this show is available on our streaming service, and it's not on TV. So the same way that like Star Trek Discovery is only on like CBS's program, and the same thing with Netflix is trying to do is have like movies on Netflix. You don't need to go to like the theater. That's just like Netflix original movies. They haven't really been all that successful because the ones that they picked are like shitty. Like Bright.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not a fan of Bright. Bright's okay. I think Dozer liked Bright.
I watched it was like a video essay about like the terrible world building of Bright. Because there is none. And how it's really interesting. Like the lack of world building that it has for all the history that they purport to have. You know, like these orc battles with the Dark Lord like 9,000 years ago. And nothing has changed except now that we have like orcs and stuff in like LA.
Yeah.
You know, there's a friggin' dragon in the background flying around. But like all of the pop culture references like Shrek still exist. And none of the history has been altered in a super lazy way of story building. So that's one of the reasons like Bright is terrible. And that it wasn't even like as bad in terms of like terrible pop culture kind of references. I think that she mentioned in like the earlier versions of the script. I think until like David Ayer got a hold of it. And then they rewrote it, and then it was like worse.
But yeah, we could watch John Oliver when we get to the room.
We could watch some of these video essays.
We could play Dueling Nexus.
Where?
I'm just going straight to the room.
Ah, he's not going to that door. He's going to that door. So like, if Netflix has some like, it's hard to gauge how much of a flop those kind of movies are on Netflix's end because, you know, they don't have like box office information that everyone else uses to gauge the success of a movie.
I'm not going through that door.
Ah, I'm not even.
I'm going through that door. Ah, there's a treacherous path ahead, I see.
Just get closer to the drain.
He's going for the drain route.
It's like actually not muddy over here. Like you went through the more difficult path.
Did I, Ryan?
You did!
Did I?
You did.
After you. Whoop. When Ryan doesn't hold the door open for anyone. Right. What about this amazing office space over here?
People have been in here.
Yeah.
Seams, moving stuff around. Opening cabinets.
But yeah, we finished walking, so thank you guys for watching. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Chip, like the one only here with
guy number 2.
Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, share, and ding 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 ring that bell so you know whenever we do these live streams.
Ding ding ding, dislike the video.
Nah. Peace.